Trust in God. Some of you may not know me, but my name is Scott Shriver, and my wife's name is Kate, and we've been members here at North Park for 4 years. And I want to tell you the story behind how that occurred and how that was a great blessing to both of us in our lives. Kate and I decided that we needed to choose a perfect Presbyterian church, as we were both raised Presbyterian, shortly after we were married and had children, and we found the perfect church. And everything was going well for 25 years until our pastor retired. And when our pastor retired, we had to go through some very difficult times. And those difficult times were having an interim pastor, having a search team look for a new pastor, and then welcoming a new pastor into our church with the idea that we knew that it wasn't going to be exactly the same. But we didn't know how not the same it was going to be until after we were probably a year into our new pastor. It became apparent that our new pastor did not preach with Scripture in mind. His preaching wasn't godly. So those of us who were leaders in the church, we decided we would have some discussion with him. And I don't know about everybody in the church, but I spent about 8 hours of individual discussion, an hour here, an hour there. And in our last discussion, he looked me in the eye and he said to me, "Scott, people come and people go." I knew we had to leave at that point. And so Kate and I felt like our house had burned down. 25 years of investment in one church community were up in smoke, and we had to find a new place to go. And so we started the arduous search for a new Presbyterian church. And we went to 4 or 5 different churches before we came to North Park. And as we walked the stairs, Dan Henley's eyes met us, and he came right over to us and he asked what our names were. And I said, "My name is Scott, this is my wife Kate." And I said, "If you want to remember our names, just remember the word skate." And he reached over and grabbed his wife Beth. And he says, "I'm Dan and this is Beth. If you're skate, I guess that makes us death." And I knew we were in the right place. We listened to Dan's preaching. We knew it was scriptural. We knew this was the place for us. So sometimes God has plans for us that we don't know about. We had left a church that we were totally embedded in, and we loved that place, only to have to find a new place. And so one of my favorite scriptures is Jeremiah 29:11, which states this, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." And when we had to leave our original church, I thought it was all over. I thought we were in deep doo-doo. But ultimately, God is faithful, and I have seen it. Because our time here at North Park, our 4 years here at North Park, have been absolutely fabulous. Kate is a deacon, and I am soon to be ordained as an elder. And I really know that God has plans for our lives which are always for the good. Trust in God.